Our next speaker will be Selo Boshamane from SADC, who's going to talk about designing technologies for societal impact.
Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gents. As being introduced, I'm from SADC Banking Association. So today I'll be talking to you about creating impactful technology for society. And here I'm just going to focus, I can talk until next week, but I'm just going to focus on the key features of what is it that makes of an impactful technology for the society. And also really to acknowledge and recognize the fact that from the SADC as a regional bloc, before we embarked on this project, we really did extensive research in terms of what will be the best model that will integrate the SADC as a regional bloc, that will break all these barriers to trade and investment, that will, enhance or enable faster payments and cheaper transactional cost, etc. So 5 distinguishing attributes came about. The first one is the central operating model. The central operating model, initially we thought we have about 15 countries, now it's 16 that are part of SADC. Most of them have RTGSs. Maybe the concept here is to just link up the RTGSs, and voila, we have a regional solution. But with the challenges that kind of model was introducing to the ecosystem, and when you have to do recourse, and the one system is not working on the other hand, the risks and the challenges were endless. So we came about building a model where it enables what we call central clearing and settlement operator switch. So we only have one switch, and all the market players, they connect to that switch. And the design model is that the solution can be lifted and shifted to another country. So currently, we are hosting it in South Africa. But should South Africa, for instance, drop the ball, the oversight committee can decide, let's lift and shift it to another jurisdiction. It's as easy as that. And all the market players, they all have accounts there. They connect directly to the model, and they can transact with one another. Secondly, one of the second key feature was it must be interoperable. So meaning we needed to involve all the market players, being the banks and the non-banks. And I'm highlighting the word eligible, because it's very important that all the players has to meet all the governance criteria. The solution has to be harmonized and must have a robust regulatory framework. So meaning when we build this solution, we first looked at the domestic oversight and licensing framework, and we sort of modernized, looked at which countries are stronger on certain aspects, and we took all the best practice. And we said, okay, as a SADC, as a bloc, this is how our framework should be and how we are going to regulate all the players. And we have adopted it as a regional bloc. And it was as simple as that. Obviously, the political world that we had to go through and get all these policies and etc. approved, it was a quite vigorous process. But at the end of the day, we have a harmonized regulatory framework. Secondly, a conducive ecosystem. So we said, regulators, you need to sit down. We need to make sure that we are leveling all the playing fields for all participants. Non-banks will complain to say, you give us small limits, but the banks, they've got bigger limits. And the regulator will say, but you can expose us to terrorist financing. And the non-banks will argue and say, but terrorist financing, they need bigger amounts. For us to facilitate that, it means one participant will have to do multiple payments, and therefore, as a regulator, you'll be able to pick that up. The banks on the other side are saying, but you are giving 9 banks the opportunity to do light KYC. We have to do all this heavy lifting. It's unfair. So the regulator had to create conducive ecosystem. The last one is cost and speed. It has to be cheaper, and it has to enable faster payments. So those were the key features that we had to incorporate into our model. Lastly, this is just a picture of the model itself. And as you can see right there in the middle, it's where we are doing, it's a central switch for clearing and settlement. And all the players could connect to the switch directly. Either participants can connect directly, or they can come to us via local ACHs and switch. And we are also embracing participants that wants to come via aggregators, the so-called PPSP. And just us enabling them to do so, payments could move from one country to another. The channels on the different sites, the banks now have the platform to become innovative and open up all these channels where will be the origination of payments and where these payments are received. So, ladies and gents, that is what I would like to share with you as an impactful technology for society. I mean, giving this to the society, basically, and also this being owned by the regulator from a cost perspective, this is not a commercial platform. It's precisely to meet the objective of financial inclusion. I'll stop here and thank you for your time.